Why are you looking at the camera like that?
Why are you filming me?
You wanted to do the Fear Itself rundowns.
At my desk?
Why the fuck not? Wish we could play games over your desk. Did you see the lighting on this fucking shit?
Yeah, well, there's sunlight, honey. We don't film during sunlight.
The fuck is sunlight? So you got month 2 and month 3 to talk about. You want to get a move on here, or are you going to keep the YouTube viewers waiting?
This is awkward.
What do you mean awkward? I'll give you awkward.
Oh, awkward you.
Awkward is a punch in the back of the head during sex. That's awkward.
You're cutting all this out, right?
Fuck no. Alright, I'm going to cut it all out. Not really going to cut it all out.
Alright, Fear Itself month 2. For anyone that was following our Facebook at the time, I had just had major mouth surgery the day before.
Yeah, oral surgery.
It wasn't funny, it was painful. Anyways, I had 3 teeth taken out. And, but I was determined to still go to Fear Itself the next day. So, I had decided the night before that I was going to get my super booster was going to be Incredible Hulk, because I was looking up what kind of commons came in that set, and most of them were utility pieces. Like, almost all of them had Outwit, Prob, or Perplex, which is severely lacking, except for like 1 or 2 figures in Fear Itself. So I figured that could give me a good advantage, which it ended up doing, actually. So in my pulls, I ended up going with Red She-Hulk, Iron Fist, the non-mighty one, the white one, and Amadeus Cho from the Incredible Hulk set. And so I could have done a lot better, but I couldn't. I could barely talk to my opponents. And for my first game, I had recently taken Percocet before starting the tournament. So she was
disqualified from the tournament for doping.
Percocets and Heroclix do not mix. So my first game, my vision was blurred, my thinking was slowed, I was staring at my opponent being like, what is going on? Luckily, or thankfully, my first game I played against one of my older friends, guy that we've been playing against for years and years now. Problem was I let him do what he needed to do. We decided, for whatever reason, not to bring our Book of Skulls to month 2. So everybody else had them when we seemed to be at a distinct disadvantage. So my first game I played against my buddy Aubrey, and he had Rose Wilson, Black Widow, and Robin. He had pulled from Teen Titans and the Book of Skulls. So, doped out of my mind. I was kind of posturing and let him figure out what he needed to do, and ended up getting a hammer on everyone. So needless to say, that ended, and not well for me. My second game I did a lot better. By then the drugs had actually worn off. And I was playing up against a fairly recent newer player, and he had pulled from Teen Titans as well. He was playing the Wolverine Super Rare from Fear Itself, KG Beast from Teen Titans, or is that from Batman?
Batman.
Sorry, that's from Batman. So Wolverine, KG Beast, and the non-mighty Iron Fist as well. So that team I actually went really toe-to-toe with. The end of the game ended up coming down to Amadeus Cho versus Wolverine, and it was very annoying. It was very annoying because that Wolverine has a stop click, and on his stop click he also has regeneration, and he's indomitable. So at that point I had lost my outwit. Amadeus Cho was only doing 2 damage, so I would get him to his stop click, and then I wouldn't be able to attack him again. And then he'd regen up, and I'd get him back down to his stop click. So this was going back and forth until he finally made that hit to end up killing Amadeus Cho. So at least I scored a fair amount of points on that one, but I still ended up losing. And then for round 3, I actually went up against Jason, who had Reizo Kodo, Titania, and Sin. And so I did everything I could to swarm Jason. And at one point, Titania and Red She-Hulk went toe-to-toe, and I actually got my first attack off. The awesome thing about Red She-Hulk on her first click is that she has 9 movement charge, so essentially she can move in 5. She has 11 attack, super strength, and 4 damage. And she also has white power on her attack that if she attacks with an object, she does an extra damage. So you pick up a heavy object, that 4 damage becomes 7 damage. I hit that attack on Titania and crippled her in one shot. Didn't kill her, but crippled her enough to not have to worry about her, basically. So it went from there, and I actually ended up beating Jason in the last round. So I was very excited about that. My team did what it needed to do. So overall, I think I did really well. I really liked my team, the way that it got built. I really enjoy Red She-Hulk and Iron Fist from that set. Not sure how they're going to do outside of Sealed. Inside of Sealed, they're really, really good. And then, yeah, so other than, you know, not being able to communicate very well and being high out of my mind for my first game and not paying attention to what was going on, I did well enough, better than I was expecting for that tournament. So that was my Fear Itself month 2. I am allowing a pause so you can edit. So
I'm not gonna fucking edit shit.
No, you put them as separate things because then it'll end up being too long and nobody's gonna want to watch it.
Now.
You're a dick.
Yes.
All right.
Trying to keep these movies interesting.
You're interesting.
Well, not. Hurry the fuck up.
That's your problem. Okay, so apparently I'm going straight through to month 3. So we actually just did month 3 yesterday. And we got lucky enough that our venue got a lot of the product, and we got to do 2 packs of
so much Fear Itself!
Which means between the 2 of us we had 20 figures from Fear Itself yesterday.
So much Fear Itself!
Yeah, so I pulled a lot of stuff in it. What I was actually really thankful for was that it was a lot of new stuff. The problem that I ran into with month 2 was that I had pulled everything that we had collectively already pulled from month 1. So...
Look at all these fucking Monkey Kings!
3 of those actually got pulled yesterday. So this, I was seeing a lot of brand new characters, very excited for that. And I got my Wolverine Super Rare. And I don't think I've yet talked about it on this channel because we lost our grudge match. But I have been collecting Wolverine since the beginning. So far, if you include Wolverine and the X-Men and Old Man Logan, the convention exclusive, there are 46 Wolverines, and I own 43 of them. So yeah, so I got my Super Rare. So what I ended up fielding for month 3 was the Wolverine, Red She-Hulk again, Non-Mighty Iron Fist again, and Monkey King. And then we actually brought our Book of Skulls this time, so I had 4 hammers on there. So my first game didn't go well for me because I went up against Doctor Strange, Sin, and Miss Marvel, who all have range up the ass. I know they're only like Sin's only got like 6 range, but when you have a sealed tournament where a set has pretty much no range and everybody's close combat, even 6 range is a huge advantage. So I wasn't able to get in and swarm as fast as he could basically smack my face with some well-placed psychic blasts and all that stuff. So I actually managed to kill Sin. because it got to the point where I could look at my team and be like, okay, I'm not going to win this. I need to kill something because I need points for this tournament. So I ended up swarming and focusing on Sin, and then the rest of my team got slaughtered. My second round, which is actually kind of funny because originally when the pairings got called off, I got called to play against one of my buddies, Ryan. And he had a pretty beat stick team. I don't think I would have actually been able to beat him if that ended up going. But apparently the pairings were wrong and I ended up against another opponent. So my second opponent was playing... What was he playing? Oh man, I'm totally drawing a blank on this. This is not good.
Guardian Troll is one of those.
Yes, he had a nice Guardian Troll, a Monkey King. I believe did he have a Doctor Strange as well?
No.
No. Okay, so I can't remember what he was playing. But I ended up beating him. He didn't have the range that my first opponent did. So I was able to go in there and just overwhelm his team. At one point I had a really, really well placed hammer drop. I had dropped the hammer on Red She-Hulk and did the free Quake and pushed back his Asgardian Troll and his Monkey King, and neither of those have a move and attack power. So they weren't able to come back in to get me. And then of course dropping hammer, I got all the extra bonuses on that. So you can tell my opponent was not happy with me winning, but no, it ended up going really, really good. I managed to place my characters where they needed to be. I dropped the hammers where they needed to be. Putting the hammer, I actually only got 2 hammers out. I put Skady's hammer on Red She-Hulk and Skirn's hammer, which is the new one for month 3, on Wolverine. So that one ended up really well, and I was really excited because it's in tournament fashion, it's really rare for me to actually win games, so I was super pumped for that. Totally excited. And then my final round, I was up against a slightly newer player, and he was playing the super rare Dracula and Mighty She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk. So it ended up just being like basically numbers over. Where I had 4 characters, he had 2. I was able to swarm him. Almost all my team was indomitable. Half of my team was indomitable, but that also gave me, his team was indomitable too, but it gave me that bit of advantage to keep attacking. So I focused on Red She-Hulk, got her down. I was able to do, when I put Skirn's hammer on Wolverine, it gave him charge on the first click, which he doesn't have. He has stealth. But that brings him up to a 14 attack with Blaze Claws, which you don't even need because he's got 3 damage exploit weakness. So that was got cut right through. The She-Hulk again doing 4 damage right off the bat. I think I got a critical hit on there too somewhere. So took her down. He actually ended up reverting her to the other She-Hulk, which was pretty cool. He managed to pull both of them. And took her down, and then I was focusing on Dracula. And he gave me a little bit of trouble, especially he is late dial Outwit. I got lucky. Basically, like, I had that game, I was gonna win anyways, but he could have scored a little more points on me if he had been focusing on my Red She-Hulk instead of my Iron Fist. Because I don't think he realized that my Red She-Hulk was actually on her last click. Her last click's a little rough. Like, she's got 11 attack and a 18 defense with invulnerable, but he had like 11 attack and he had 11 attack and Outwit. So I mean, he could have knocked her out, but he decided to focus on Iron Fist instead, and I was able to drop down Dracula. Swarmed him, basically did Red She-Hulk, Iron Fist, and Wolverine, and he was done. So, for itself, month 3, super excited, very pleased with my team, very, very excited that I finally got the Wolverine and I didn't have to trade out the ass for it. Yeah, I went 2-1 in an official tournament, and I have been playing tournaments for at least 8 years years, roughly. There was a patch in between where we weren't actually playing tournaments. We were just playing the game at home. But I cannot remember doing that well in a tournament, so I was very, very fucking happy for yesterday's Fear Itself month 3, and now I'm totally pumped for month 4, and yeah, get it done. Now I'm done.
Fuck the goddamn light! Ow! Oh, I told you to wait for my interview. Ah!
No!
Fuck! God damn it! Alright, well, since I'm in the middle of editing shit, I'm gonna have to try to make this fast, I guess. So it's month 2 and month 3 I gotta do?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, fuck. Fuck your fucking face.
We did that last night. No.
Well, that's why you needed the oral surgery. So month 2. The polls were terrible for both of us. We both pulled shit for Fear Itself that we already had for the most part, and the stuff that I did get that we didn't have was pretty disappointing. I mean, I didn't want Raizo Kodo. I didn't at all. And then playing with him in the tournament was even less interesting. So I ended up using Raizo, Kodo, Titania, and Sin. First game, I lost against a Hawkeye and a Valkyrie. Because I was stupid and forgot that we were allowed to use the Book of Skulls and left both of our Book of Skulls at home. I should damn well known better, because my understanding was that the Infinity Challenge and the No Man's Land, you're allowed to use the belts and the gauntlets. But, you know, since we weren't in those tournaments at the time, yeah, that shit got messed up. So yeah, I got curb stomped by a Hawkeye with +2 attack and a Valkyrie with +2 attack and move and attack abilities. That was fun. Round 2, I got to a young lady. Her name's Marissa. She comes with her father. Delight to play with. She was playing Graythoth and something I can't remember. Honestly, it was so long ago at this point, and I'm getting old, so I don't remember anything about her team specifically. I do remember winning. I think it was Graythoth and Tanaris. And being month 2, it was still at the 300-point level, so the teams are smaller than second or the third month teams. Because I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but month 3 was 400 points, and month 2 was 300 points. Yeah, I didn't think so. Fucking inform the viewers, all right?
You threw me off by making me do both interviews together.
We were gonna do both interviews together anyway. You and your mouth. So yeah, month, continue on with my month 2. Playing against Marissa, it was a positional game. I beat her on position, and because Graythoth is a giant, he kind of gets poked from the distance with the outwits from, you know, regardless of whether or not he's based, and the line of sight is really easy to draw to them. So I took advantage of that and did a lot of damage to her Graythoth. And
sorry, I just remembered what Adam was playing. He played Skirn and something else.
Right. Okay, so she's still talking about her interview and interrupting mine. And then also Amber already discussed our game with month 2, where yeah, she just curb stomped me. I was not happy with my team. It's plain and simple. I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with what I pulled. My Hulk pack didn't even get used, and it was nice to get another AI Marine Hulk. I mean, I love the Hulk, and I love stuff like the AI Marine Hulk, and one day I will play an Intelligentsia team, I swear, with a bunch of AI Marines. And but that said, going into month 3, oh, so much Fear Itself to work with. The problem was there was a lack of comfort with the Fear Itself stuff on its own, because, you know, you're used to mixing it with something else. So playing Fear Itself only with Fear Itself was a little overwhelming. But I didn't get a whole lot that was really uber awesome. The 3 most uber awesome figures that I got in my 2 packs I used. That was Doctor Strange, Ms. Marvel, and Sin. It turns out somebody else was playing the exact same team as well, because they pulled those figures, and Amber got to play against him in the first round. So
and got curb stomped.
And because she got curb stomped, I knew my team could have beat her. It would have been nice to play against her. Yeah. So that said, month 3 round 1, I played against a Colossus, an Iron Fist, and Amber, turn off your fucking speaker. Fuck, now you've completely thrown me off. Oh yeah, it was a Colossus, an Iron Fist, and Asgardian Troll, and something else. Oh, Monkey King. Team scared the shit out of me. Because Colossus. Well, we all know, we all want Colossus. Colossus is fucking amazing, blah, 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 blah. Jesus. Fuck. Fuck. I was scared of that team. But, advanced positioning, won me the game on that one. I kept my characters all out of his charge range. And he decided he was just going to base me off the bat, which was fantastic because that let me, just move my Marvel girl with Scotty's hammer in. Exploit weakness damage.
Did you say Marvel girl?
Did I say Marvel girl?
Yeah.
I meant Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I did that, so we're gonna find out. Anyway, that said, round 1 went really well. Round 2 was another Colossus. A Colossus with 2 sins. Colossus, 2 sins, and a Thule Priest. And that game came down to one huge factor, and it was my inability to count. What I had been doing was counting with Doctor Strange as though he was going to running shot while carrying. So he would have only been able to move 3 once you half it to 5 and then subtract the 2, because replace then subtract. We've done it a couple times in the video wrong. I'm apologizing now for that. We only recently learned that the charge and everything else was a replace rule. I hadn't even realized that, because I would always used to read move up to half or something like that, and then you don't read charge and running shot with new rule sets because they're charge and running shot. Nothing's changed in 11 goddamn years of this game. Anyway, long story short, I tried to count that out, and then decided I wasn't going to carry with Doctor Strange anymore on that one. But then I went his full movement, and I knew that he had a Book of Skulls. I knew he had Colossus armed with a hammer, and I still took that extra 1 movement and fucked myself big time on that one. His Colossus came in, charged at like a 7 available movement to charge. 6 movement to charge. And then, of course, because he's Colossus and he was detokened at the time, he went and charged at another my Marvel girl, and then it went nasty from there. Learning experience from that was remember to count the squares even after you've, taken away any adjustments. Secondly, apparently the Book of Skulls works both ways with regards to starting areas. Me and Aubrey discovered that late in the game, and it was already, he'd already done the damage that was going to win him the game, so I didn't give a crap about the fact that he'd accidentally done it. We both... It's one of those things you don't really think about, and it says outside of the starting area. You don't say outside of any starting area, you just assume it's just outside of your starting area. You don't really pay attention to your opponent's starting area, because by that time everything's in the middle. So, hindsight's 20/20 on that one. We both kind of looked at that and said, ooh, we're going to have to remember that the next time. So... Young viewers, Book of Skulls starting areas are both ways. So if you're near your opponent's starting area, you still got to be more than 5 squares away to drop the hammers. Third round, I had already had my off button. Lately, I've had this thing where in our venue, fellowship isn't done by sportsmanship or new player or anything like that. The fellowship in our venue is done by a random draw, which is basically a dice roll.
Oh, I forgot I won Hella.
I was going to actually mention that later on while insulting you. But thanks for taking that away. Yes, Amber got the Hella in month 2. God, this video's all over the place. We're going to have to throw in so many technical difficulty bunnies for this. Third round was against Mike.
You put me on the spot, bitch.
Yeah, a guy I played against before, Mike. Very nice guy. His dice rolls were not going well that game, but he outplayed me for that game as well. So there's a couple mistakes I made, but when I come down to it, he outplayed me, and that's what it comes down to, is getting outplayed. Your dice can screw you only so far until, when they do hit and do the right damage, shit happens. Plus, my team, I started to realize if it got hit, really gets hit. So, long and the short of it is pay attention to your squares, know the rules of everything you're dealing with, and go from there. either way, both months we walked out with our hammers, so we can't argue with that. We got our fear of self stuff. Can't argue with that. Amber got hella.
Yay!
Can't argue with that.
I got a fellowship roll. I didn't actually win it, obviously, because
Yeah.
I went.
She got the fellowship roll.
1 and 2.
Yeah, that's right. And all I did was put Ralph in your goddamn videos. Why you gotta fucking